Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video that I'm gonna do today is a bit sad, but I will get through it. I'm gonna talk about losing my mom. It's been 25 years today, exactly the date that I'm filming. She was killed April 15th, 1994, and it does not feel like it's been 25 years because I do miss her every day. I'm going to talk about how losing her has impacted me and how it has impacted me as a mom. So yeah, I will get into all those details in this video. My mom died in 1994. Like I mentioned, she died April 15th, and today is April 15th, so it's been a bit of a struggle for me. The month of April is just a struggle for me, period. I get through it, obviously. Yeah, I've been going through it for 25 years, but it's hard, and I noticed that it got harder the older I get. It gets harder the older I get. I don't know why. When I was younger, people will ask me to share my story about how my mom died and how I survived the 1994 genocide in Rwanda, and I was so willing to share my story and talk about it because I felt like people needed to know and people wanted to know. So then I got a little older and I noticed that it's gotten really hard for me to even talk about it. So I prefer not even talking about it, or if I do share with you, it's because I'm probably really close to you, but to do public speaking and all that, I refrained from doing that. I usually tell people that I'm writing a book, which I have been working on a book, but it's been years because every time I do try to sit and work on it, I find that it really takes me back, and I can't control my emotions, and then I feel like what I'm gonna write is not even good. So I'm thinking of probably getting someone else to write my story for me. I'll tell them and then they write it. I think that's gonna be much easier for me. So to get on with how my mom's death impacted me, I was 7 when she died, and it's such a young age. I have a 3-year-old right now, and in 4 years, I just imagine him when he's 7, how it will be if he didn't have me, and it kills me when I think about that. And I think losing my mom has become more emotionally for me after having kids. I remember going to the hospital to give birth to Ethan, and I was like, man, I wish my mom was here. I mean, I've been blessed with the second mom. I was adopted, not officially, but I had a family that took me in and loved me and took care of me, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm truly grateful for that. I call my parents right now my second chance because both of my parents, my biological parents, died, and they've been amazing to me. They raised me. We still live near each other. I see them all the time, and they're my family, my forever family. And I thank God for giving me a second chance to having a mom and a dad, and that's something that my sisters didn't get, and I'm grateful that I got that chance. And Ethan and Logan do have a grandma and a grandpa. They call them grandma and grandpa, and that means the world to me, you know, because I always think of the day that I have to tell my kids my story, and they will see this picture. I have this picture in my house, and I haven't been able to change the picture frame, but I know one day Ethan is gonna be able to read and he's gonna see that it says mother on here, and he's gonna ask me who this is, and I'm gonna have to explain that to him because he knows this is not who he calls grandma. So thinking of the day that I'm gonna have to explain that to my kids, it terrifies me, but I know I will get through it. I've gone through a lot, and I know that day will come, and I pray that God is gonna give me the right words and the courage to be able to explain to my kids why their grandma is not here. So anyways, I feel like I'm jumping everywhere. Forgive me. I'm trying to share as much as I can. I don't want to bore you guys with such a long video, but anyways, as I was talking about before, going to the hospital when I went to give birth to Ethan, I was wishing, oh, somebody just opened the door. I was wishing that my mom could be there. I wish that my mom could be at everything. When I got married, as my second chance daddy was walking me down the aisle, I was like, man, I wonder how it would feel to have my dad walk me down the aisle. Although I never met him. Hi, Ethan. Hi. Sorry, Ethan walked in. So yeah, as I was saying, although I never met my dad, he died when I was 2. He didn't die in the genocide. He died 5 years before that. On my wedding day, I did wish that I could have him walk me down the aisle. And I just always imagine how my parents would be seeing my life. If they were to see my life, how would they be? Would they be proud? I always have those thoughts in mind. And so the day that hit me the most is the day I give birth, because I'm thinking like, my mom is not here to meet my kids, and I wish it could be. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. Oh, but it's been 25 years, and each year for me gets harder and harder. Every time April rolls around, I dread it, and I just hate the month of April, because it just brings so much terrible memories for me. But by the grace of God, I do get through it. I find that when I talk to my sisters, because they went through it with me, they went through the genocide with me, I find that sometimes when we talk about it and we share with each other how it's impacted us, I find it's a little bit more comforting. I remember one of my sisters, I talked to her and I said, when you gave birth, did you miss mom? And she said, yeah. She said she wished that mom would have been there for her too. And I just want to say that if your mom is still alive, love them, hug them, thank them every day. Thank God every day that you have your mom still, because sometimes I wish that I could have her for one last time and just tell her that I love her, because that's something that I didn't get to tell her. We were separated in the genocide, and I didn't get to see her. I didn't get to say goodbye. Thank God I didn't see her get killed, because I don't think I could be sitting here talking about it, because it will kill me if I saw her get killed. My mom was a woman of faith. My mom prayed a lot. If there is one thing I learned from her, is that she prayed for everything. And I thank God that I got to know Jesus. I got to accept Jesus as my personal savior, because I find that now everything I go through, good or bad, I pray. And it really brings me a lot of comfort to pray. And I'm grateful that that's something that I can say I share with my mom, because I always saw her praying for everything, all the hardships we went through, having my dad dying at such a young age for us. Like I said, I was 2, and I barely remember him, and my mom had 8 kids to raise by herself. I was the last born, and she had 8 of us, and she raised us well. I can say that. She did everything she could. She never wanted us to see that we were going through such a tough time, because she was such a trooper. She always put us first. And it's something that my sisters and I are grateful for. I have, like I said, we were 8 of us. And then 3 of my siblings passed away. I had 1 brother. He was killed with my mom. And now we're 5 left. We call ourselves 5 alive, like the juice. So we're 5 left, and we live in different countries. I am here in Canada. I have a sister in Germany, and I have 3 more sisters in England. We do see each other when we can. And when we are together, it's the most amazing time, because we pretty much didn't grow up together. I came to Canada when I was 11. So, and it took 10 years for us to have a reunion, to see each other again. And that was a painful 10 years. So we promised that we wouldn't let that happen again. So we try to see each other as much as we can. And it's not that bad. But I do wish that I had somebody here. I am here in Canada by myself, but I've been blessed with a family, but they're by themselves, you know. I felt alone for a long time. My oldest sister once said that we are serving a life sentence, and I had to think about that for such a long time to get what she meant. And I really feel like we do serve a life sentence, because everything that we do, we remember our loved ones that were taken away so soon. So I just want to end this video here by saying that if you are a genocide survivor or a survivor of any kind, you're not alone. It's hard to talk about hardships, but if you can't talk about your hardships to the people near you, just remember that God is always near. You can always pray. He's just a prayer away. And I've found that when I pray, I get some sort of peace. It doesn't mean that I've forgotten what happened. It was a long 100 days that I went through. I saw things that a 7-year-old should not see. I saw things that I cannot unsee. But life goes on. And one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And that is true for me. It is my favorite for a reason, because I find my strength in Christ. And I hope and pray that if you're going through a hard time, you can find that same strength in Jesus. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for always coming back week after week to watch my video. I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting from the bottom of my heart. Until the next time, I hope you guys stay blessed. Bye.